A diplomatic scandal just erupted, and this time it's personal. During an event in Ottawa, the U.S. Ambassador Pete Hoekstra reportedly lost his cool and verbally insulted Ontario's Trade Representative David Paterson because of an anti-tariff campaign that exposed Trump's trade war. This wasn't just rude, it was an insult to all of Canada. For Canadians, this moment has become a symbol of how the Trump administration's hostility isn't accidental. It's part of an ongoing pattern that starts right at the top. But what's new is Prime Minister Mark Carney's response. He's refusing to stay silent. Carney is turning this insult into action, and now the world is watching.
The U.S. ambassador to Canada reportedly lashed out in a big way at Ontario's trade representative at an event in Ottawa Monday. Sources tell CTV News there was an unpleasant exchange between Pete Hoekstra and Ontario's Washington trade rep David Paterson. The sources say the U.S. ambassador hurled insults and swore over Ontario's anti-tariff ad. Paterson was said to be calm during the tirade. Last week, President Trump abruptly ended trade talks with Canada over the commercial and then imposed that 10% tariff on Canada.
Let's be honest, this is a collapse of diplomacy. Under Donald Trump, the U.S. has stopped speaking like an ally and started using intimidation. Pete Hoekstra didn't just lose his temper, he acted exactly how Trump wants, choosing obedience over real diplomacy. Instead of representing America, he's echoing Trump's aggression everywhere. This isn't about tariffs anymore. Now it's about power and a president who uses diplomacy to dominate, not cooperate. It's causing chaos in partnerships that once held North America together. Hoekstra's outburst shows this decline, and it's sparking a backlash that's actually bringing other nations together against Trump.
With me now is CTV's political commentator, Scott Reed. Scott, good morning to you. So, Canada-U.S. relations appear to be at a real low point. What do you make of these reports of Pete Hoekstra using expletives at David Paterson at a public event?
No, it's to be expected. It's actually in keeping with Ambassador Hoekstra's pattern since he took over the office as chief diplomat to Canada. I mean, he's been overtly insulting time and time again, and that shouldn't surprise any of us either, because Donald Trump doesn't appoint diplomats in the traditional sense of saying, I want an envoy that can smooth relations, that can work with folks, that can build up a bunch of relationships and backchannel. He doesn't want any of that. He wants someone who will yell and stamp their feet in the same way that he does. So it's important for Ambassador Hoekstra to be seen as swearing and cursing and losing his temper, because he wants the President of the United States, his boss, to see that that's how he's conducting himself, because that's what it takes to get approval from the boss in this upside down, backwards world in which we live, now led by Donald Trump. So I'm disappointed. I think it's despairing in many ways, but it shouldn't surprise any of us. This is how the Trump White House administration, this is how Trump world works.
When the U.S. ambassador swears at Canadian officials, everyone wonders how Canada will react. Mark Carney's answer is simple. Canada is expanding its global reach and moving beyond Trump's influence. Instead of just ignoring Hoekstra's behavior, Carney's government is using it as motivation to build stronger partnerships with countries that actually value cooperation. Recently, Carney has been meeting with leaders across Asia and Europe, Malaysia, Singapore, Brussels, Berlin, showing Canada as a dependable partner for nations tired of Trump's unpredictability. While Hoekstra is pushing old allies away, Carney is winning new ones. He's turning insults into chances for growth. With a clear message, Canada is open for cooperation. Even if Washington isn't, Hoekstra's outburst in Ottawa is actually making things harder for Trump, not easier. U.S. lawmakers are starting to see that these diplomatic fights have real consequences. Every time a Trump official attacks an ally, America looks weaker and Canada looks stronger. Trade experts warn that if this continues, U.S. businesses could be left out as countries turn to Canada and Europe. Trump tried to pressure Canada, but instead he's giving Canada more reason to look elsewhere for success. Hoekstra's actions only speed up this change. Canada isn't just ignoring Trump, it's beating him at his own game. Canada isn't worried about losing U.S. market access because it's already finding new paths, and it doesn't wait for U.S. approval anymore. It's earning global respect. Every outburst from Trump's team just pushes the U.S. further into isolation and boosts Canada's reputation as a modern, reliable leader. The real loser in all this isn't Canada, it's Trump's foreign policy. When a U.S. ambassador publicly insulted a Canadian official, it became a turning point. This marked the moment Canada stopped being the junior partner and started acting as an independent force in North American politics. Thanks to Mark Carney, Canada isn't just reacting to Trump anymore, it's reshaping the balance of power. For the first time in decades, world leaders are focused on building ties with Ottawa, not just repairing relations with Washington. That's something Trump and Pete Hoekstra never saw coming.